Alright guys, g'day, welcome back. I'm just going to do a little bit more of a casual kind of discussion video today, based on what I found here on JFanta's Twitter. This is a bit of a template that's getting around at the moment, just kind of, rating a few different units, or I guess filling out a few different categories and it's all personal preference kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I kind of just revised this template to what you see here. So I'm just going to go through each of my decisions and maybe just tell a story or two about how my account's gone over the years. Obviously, if you wouldn't mind doing the like, subscribe thing just to help out the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And it's also worth mentioning that the next batch of Dokkan trading cards will be available. The cutoff is the 1st of July, sorry. Check out the video I did yesterday for more information on that, or hit me up on Discord. But just going to get straight into it. My first banner was STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is going way back when. I don't know for sure whether or not this was the very first banner or not. My Dokkan journey's been a little bit chaotic in a sense. I initially found the global version not long after it launched, to be honest with you. And then I played that for a bit. Got kind of, I joined the Reddit and then found out there was a JP version. So I scrapped my global account and downloaded JP, which I, sorry about the dog next door, which I downloaded JP it would have been not long before the first anniversary. Because I do remember, well, actually, it would have been the first Dokkan Fest. So I'm not sure how long before the first anniversary that was. I guess maybe 6 months or so. I'm not actually sure. But that leads into, my first Dokkan Fest exclusive was STR Broly. The first anniversary on JP, I remember when the servers shit themselves. Basically, so many people were on that you couldn't log in. And at the time, it would have been about midnight my time. So it kind of just got a little bit hard to deal with, and I just ended up going to bed. And waking up the next morning to find the chaos had eventually died down. Cut to the point where I broke my phone with that account shortly after the second anniversary, therefore losing that JP account, seeing as transfer codes were the only things you could use to transfer accounts, and on a broken phone that's pretty hard to achieve. So I ended up taking an 18-month break from the game. So I missed out on the to be confirmed leader skills of Gogeta and Omega, and the third anniversary. Came back for the fourth anniversary on Global. And just before I came back on Global, after my hiatus, it was just on that Goku Day. So it probably would have been like, 4 years ago now, I think. Yeah, leading into the 8th anniversary. It was just leading into the 4th anniversary. 4 years ago, I came back just after Go Bros had dropped. And they dropped the LR Broly banner, and I managed to pull him on a single. He was my first, the first LR I pulled, because I quit, I lost that account just before I finished the grind for Prime Battle Goku, which was a hell of a pain at the time. Pardon me, I'm just having a beer while we chat. And then the next thing, this is the kind of one I added, like from this template here. I've added a few things. I've added the white whale, and what that means is the unit that has eluded you. Basically, the oldest unit that you still don't have, kind of thing. And I know we've gone kind of Broly, but I still don't have STR LR Broly. It's amazing. He's one of the very first summonable LRs. And I still don't have him on my main on Global, which is, like I said, nearly 4 years old itself, heading into the 8th anniversary. Still don't have him, and I've rainbowed several gold coin LRs since. Best card art, I think it's hands down this Broly here, and I specifically mean this SSR. I love this restricted Super Saiyan, unofficially the purple / greeny haired version of Super Saiyan Broly. I just love it. That scene over the lake where he's like, kind of just unleashing his power a bit after Blue with Goku in the night there. And when they released that art, I'm so disappointed that's wasted. I'm definitely going to probably make a custom unit out of that one day. Best animations. I honestly don't think this is a debate. I genuinely think from head to toe, start to finish across every single possible animation, the best quality overall is LR Zamasu. I just don't think it's a competition. I think there are plenty of other units, obviously, that have very, very good animations, but I think it's much easier for me to find just a slight blemish in theirs, even if it is only slight, whereas I find it much more difficult to find a blemish in LR Zamasu's animations. I think they did I think that is like the cream of the crop standard with LR Zamasu, and anything below that is just not perfect in my opinion. Like his are perfect. That's just how I see it. Best OST. Now this might surprise you. Obviously running a channel and having background OSTs all the time. I actually don't listen to too many. I play on silent. I record on silent. But from what I have heard, which I've dabbled with most of them, SDR BoJack is the one that I like the best. It's just, it fits that theme of, it gives me that pirate vibe. So yeah, I don't know. There's something about it just bops. STR Tape or LR STR Tapion or Minosha or Minotia or however you want to say his name, I can't remember. They're a close second, I'll be honest. They're very unique OSTs, and not to discredit any other OSTs. I just they stand out to me and they're a bit of a bop. Best free-to-play unit. Now this is kind of what inspired me to make a different template from the one that Jay Fanta released, just because there was nothing necessarily free-to-play there, and I wanted to sort of do like a best free-to-play unit. And I think this Prime Battle Freezer, I think has really stood out to me in comparison to some of the other Prime Battle counterparts that have easy aid. He's still very, very, very handy. I haven't tested any of the ones that are JP exclusive just yet. Prime Battle Cell and I think the upcoming Krillin. I'm not even sure if we know his info just yet, or if we do know it, I haven't paid too much attention. I like to kind of wait until things come to global. Like I'm not even really all that familiar with Cell's info just yet. I like to kind of test run them blind, if that makes sense. But this freezer, I think, still pumps out like your high 6-7 mils on the right team. And speaking of that team, after I have a sip of beer, LR STR Cooler, in my opinion, is he leads, and not necessarily the best team. This might be a little bit disingenuous. I think there is a version of his movie bosses team that I think is one of the best flowing teams in terms of having 7 units that function incredibly well together, even in the early phases when you're setting up more solid rotations, but the mid fight has rotations that end up being changed to other ones in the late fight, and funnily enough, that team actually floats LR STR Cooler. I'll actually do a showcase on that team in the coming days. I've been meaning to for a while. I've just been caught up doing other things. But yeah, I think that team for me is one of the most well synergized teams, and that's why I'm putting him there. There are obviously far better performing teams that will get the job done quicker, will maybe even get the job done easier, and that's fine. But in terms of a synergy point of view, in its most chaotic state, I still think it functions almost perfectly compared to what a lot of other probably better teams would. So that's why I put him there. Overrated unit, LR Kale and Cauliflower. I'm not a fan. I think they're boring as shit. Their animations bore me to tears, and they play 100 times every turn. Obviously, that's a good thing because they stack defense and all the rest, but their teams are also so restricted. They're not characters that I really like all too much either. I think their Easy A is fine. It's roughly what I expected. I'll obviously withhold full judgment on their Easy A until I'm actually kind of giving them a run on my own account. But again, I don't know. I just find them boring. I mean, they do a job, that's fine, but yeah, they're just not a unit for me. Underrated unit. I put Kid Gohan here. I almost put him in best aging, and it was a toss up between him, Janemba, and Tech Gohan for best aging. But I put him in underrated because he did age very, very well. And honestly, I just think he keeps up, especially if you build him with majority additional, or at least a balance between additional and crit. With let's just say 1 out of every 3 turns he does an additional super, so he's doing 4 supers every 3 turns. or over 3 appearances. I think he really keeps up with red zone content. I've not seen him get flogged around too hard. He has been caught out once or twice, don't get me wrong. But when combined with that active skill where he's allowed to guard and then buffs defense for not just that turn but the following turn as well, for all the allies' defense, I just think he brings a lot to the table. I wish that maybe they did a little bit more with his unit super attack effect. I just, like, it's great, but I wish maybe it was like a greatly stack where the normal super attack could have been a standard stack. If he's got any shortcomings, in my opinion, I think that's about it. I think he's a better partner for LR Ultimate Gohan than what the Tech Gohan is, the transforming into Ultimate Gohan. That's just my opinion. But I really like this unit, and his support of 3 key and 58% defense is just so massive. I just think it's really, really valuable. I had to include this guy, a hated unit that I love. This guy cops a whole lot of shit these days, especially and not limited to when he's compared to his counterpart in the LR Gods. I think they are roughly on par. I think they are actually slightly underrated these days themselves. They perform so well, and having that action break on the 18 key super, the chance for 3 supers, the built-in crit, built-in super effective against all types. This Gogeta has damage reduction, albeit not a whole lot, but it gets some for rainbow orbs, but also that 50% chance to just counter any super that. And now it is literally any super. They've just recently done a version change leading into Golden Week on both versions, where now enemies that disable dodge no longer disable the Super Saiyan 4 counterattack mechanic. So this guy's counter just became a whole lot more valuable. So that's why I put him there. I've just seen a lot of people kind of write him off as not being all that good anymore, and I still think he can really bring it home when you want him to. His team has fallen off a little bit, that the options are limited, but I don't think that's a fault of his own. But I understand that criticism. Loved unit that you hate. Now, I've included both gammas here. Look, I'm not trying to say that I hate them. I just, similar to Kale and Khalifa, they're not characters that I'm super jazzed on. Look, and if you like them, you like them. This is just my list and it's not yours kind of thing. But look, they perform incredibly well. Don't let me kind of put that forward as like, oh, they're an overrated unit and they're really not all that good or whatever. They are. They're fantastic. Really, really good. And obviously as a pair, they're just even better. But I don't know. They're just... I always find myself just looking past them when I'm setting up a team that could include them. I'm just like, I don't know. I'd rather nerf the team and have fun with worse units, if that makes sense. So that's why I've placed them there. Best event, Red Zone, hands down. I probably should have included it's not really an event or a stage, I guess. Oh, it is more of an event, I guess. Burst mode. I think the key to Dokkan's future is the continuous release of different Red Zone stages, and then the superclass version, Blue Zone or whatever you want to call it. If they do a plethora of stages, say like one for every arc, every movie, you know, all those different things. If you've got a broad variety of all types of different fights, and then you create a better version of the burst mode that we have, which is fine. I just like a more refined and a little bit more tailored version. Putting burst mode on top of Red Zone, where players can elect to increase the difficulty as they see fit. I think that is the key to Dokkan lasting forever. I made a video about it during the last burst mode. Go check that out. I had a big old discussion about that, so I won't go into that too much further. Worst event / stage. I mean, obviously there's the chain battle, which is annoying. There's the world tournament, which is a grind, but I honestly hate Petten battle. It's just nothing. I don't see at least chain battle in the world tournament, at least they give good rewards. Their gameplay in either scenario are rubbish. So is Petten's. Like, at the end of the day, when I'm not really splitting hairs between what game mode in terms of gameplay is the worst. I just think they're all shit. Pet and Battle, though, just doesn't even justify its own existence in the reward selection. You know what I mean? Like, at least Chain Battle, you're getting all these skill orbs. Sure, it's RNG built on RNG built on RNG, but there's still really good rewards. You get plenty of Kais, orbs, stones, and all the rest. World Tournament, you actually get exclusive characters on top of the stones and the orbs and things like that. Pet and Battle, sure, you get a few missions, but if you just don't get lucky, you don't get the missions. It's as simple as that. You can't control it. Chain Battle, you have that little bit of extra control, and I know that what I just said still could be said for Chain Battle, but I just don't think it's on the same level. Pet and Battle just does not get my vote. The sooner they scrap it, the better. I mean, I've given up on playing it altogether personally, but so I guess it doesn't matter whether they take it away. I'm just not going to play it. Best celebration. It's a tie for me between the 5th and the 7th anniversary. 7th anniversary was better than the 5th as a vacuum statement, but for their era, I think the 5th holds up as well. The reason I've chosen them more than anything is not necessarily just about their content from a gameplay perspective, but this ties into the worst celebration that I'll go into next. I guess I should probably, fuse this conversation together with the worst celebrations. I really, really dislike, and look, I'm a massive GT/Super Saiyan 4 fan, but I put the 4th anniversary in the worst celebration, same as I put the 6th. I hate celebrations that have one singular arc or one singular movie or whatever it is, like a full 6, because these anniversaries go for like 6 weeks. Any dual Dokkan Fest goes from 4 to 6 weeks. There's nothing in between. There's nothing to break it up. Singular arcs or singular movies that last 4 weeks in this game, I fucking hate it. They get so stale so quick. I just want variety, and that's why the 5th and the 7th for me really, really nailed it. The Broly movie versus Future Arc in the 5th anniversary, and then the Shadow Dragon Saga cross Broly movie. I guess it's Broly movie twice, to be fair, but I think there was a perfect variety. You know, there was one free to play TUR EZA from either arc. What was the? There wasn't a. Oh yeah, it was Zamasu. Zamasu Goku during the 5th anniversary was a free to play unit, and 7th anniversary was the Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, the father son, that kind of thing. That was variety enough. Like, that didn't really fit either arc, but I just thought it was perfect. I really did. Whereas the 4th anniversary cops a little bit, because that was before they started doing like free to play LRs and free to play TURs and stuff like that. But the Tournament of Power one as well, just look, they were great units and all the rest, and I think they did a good job in general with structuring the celebration, but just save me from the single arc celebrations. And honestly, the 8th anniversary is somewhat guilty of that. They kind of just the main 2 units was GT and Dragon Ball Z all together, the Spirit Bomb, but they just didn't do anything with GT after that. I don't think that was a very good celebration either, but I still applaud them for at least doing something unique, whereas these 2 just were like, yeah, let's just do a Super Saiyan 4 or a GT themed celebration, and then I just don't like it so much. It works for like the TUR or the non-anniversary celebrations a little bit better, I guess, but it's just not for me. I hate the singular arc stuff. I love the variety. So yeah, give me variety every day of the week over single arc stuff. Best aging unit, as I mentioned when I was back here with AGL Gohan there, best aging unit could have easily gone to him or Tech Gohan, but I've opted to go with Tech Janemba because he is a part of that team that I was talking about, that best team with LR Cooler. Janemba is a monster. I mean, not monster in terms of like powerful, but I just think he's got such good utility. His guard is 100% active, same as Tech Gohan. His support and his damage reduction is obviously orb dependent, but the fact that you can kind of just put him anywhere, it doesn't really matter, and then play with the orbs to make it happen. you know, obviously there are situations where it's just not going to happen, and that's fine, whatever. I mean, that's just RNG, and that's what this game is primarily based on from a gameplay perspective. But I just think this texture number just has such utility that I find myself using him more than a Tech Gohan, for example, even in teams like with Ultimate Gohan. So with the LRs, I should say. So yeah, that's why I put Janemba there as the best aging unit. Most used. This is probably actually not necessarily accurate from a modern standpoint, but I use this unit probably alongside the STR Namek Goku more than any other unit to date, I reckon, when he first came out. He was so good, just that good. And I mean, granted, you could actually probably make the argument that these guys were better, but I just didn't see it. I just didn't like it. I just found myself using him, and I was like, yeah, he was just so versatile, jack of all trades, good damage, excellent defense, great links. He would allow others to have the spotlight while still performing, but if you wanted him to have the spotlight, he would do just as good. So yeah, that's why I put him as my MVP, most used. But there are dozens of other units that I could also put there. Most impressive. Look, it's actually a common thing. I can't bring up any other versions of other people's lists here, but LR Piccolo I think is one of the most worthy of this description of any, and I've put the new Piccolo Junior there as well because he's giving me that equal feeling that the LR did, where I saw their information, I was like, okay, that looks really good, but then I used them. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you are just so well-rounded. It's not just like monster defense. It's not just monster attack. I'd honestly probably remove that monster description. It's just good everywhere. Really good everywhere. And like elite everywhere. Like, I don't know. They really, really impress me. It's still early days with Piccolo Jr., but I've done a few showcases on the channel already. And I've played with him a lot in private as well, and even the last showcase I did for Tech Goku, his counterpart, Piccolo was just floated off. He really was only there to provide a couple of links for Goku if he was floating on rotation, but he still wasn't at his best, but he still really impressed me. So those two units there are my most impressive. I don't think too many other units have really stood up or made me stand up essentially and go, wow, you are elite. And although I knew you were good on paper, I just am constantly blown away by how good they really are. Biggest disappointment. I think this is pretty bloody easy, to be honest. These two. Both Goku and Vegeta units, funnily enough. And biggest disappointment also coincides with the fact that I really, really wanted them to be good. Like, I guess it's biggest letdown as well as biggest disappointment, whatever you want to call it. But I really, really wanted these units to be good. This cool Metal Cooler movie, LR, like, I love that movie, and I love those. Their animations are actually top tier as well. If I'm going to be totally honest, it's a bit off topic. I reckon they're a solid second for best animation. Like, I think Zamasu is a clear first, but his only competition for like perfect animations are these guys. And I think that ties into my disappointment of how poorly they perform, how poorly they're designed. Really, really disappointing. And so are the gods here, or the blues, the exchange blues, especially the exchange into Vegeta, which really disappoints me. Their animations are disappointing as well. Like, they are an all-round disappointing unit. But although I'm not a huge Resurrection of F fan, I really dislike how little justice they did a unit pretty much based on the highlights of that movie. The 1-inch punch of Goku, I would have liked him to perform better in general, but also the animations disappointed me. And then Vegeta, who in that moment when he takes on Frieza, turns blue, kicks the shit out of Frieza, and then Frieza has his tantrum. In that moment, I think the front, like the producers or whatever you want to call it, whoever was making those movies, they understood the formula to good Dragon Ball movies. And the formula is Goku gets kicked around a bit, Vegeta flexes, the enemy gets good, and then we go from there. Vegeta got his chance to flex. They just didn't do it justice in Dokkan, and it really, really disappoints me, unfortunately. But that's my answer for that one. What we need more of, extreme units. It just goes without saying. Extreme units just do not get the love they need or deserve. I think it's to a point now where it's borderline hurting the game overall in terms of variety and things like that. So I don't think I really need to touch on it for too long. We need more extreme units. They just need more love. Most anticipated, I want a fusing Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta into Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That is my end game kind of unit at the moment. I added this question here: should Global and JP align? Yes, I think it is. It could only be good for the game. For those who may not want to lose certain benefits that exist on either version as they stand, I would say stiff shit. That's not how it was meant to be anyway. I think they should align. I think we're at a point now where these joint celebrations create a better environment for everyone. I'm not going to be convinced otherwise. So yes, they should align. Best era was the seventh anniversary. The seventh, or I guess it's technically the 8th year of Dokkan. The 12 months following the 7th anniversary, because it was that red zone era. I touched on it before, but every major celebration brought new red zone stages. So I liked that uniform difficulty kind of approach. And I love the 200% leader skills. I think they're really interesting, and I want to see, and I hope that this meta remains as it is for quite some time. I hope they keep coming with some red zones in the near future. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in the 8th anniversary or Golden Week, but we didn't get any Golden Week last year either. So hopefully during the worldwide celebration we might get something. Most iconic controversy. I'm not sure how many of you were around or even paying attention at the time, but it would have been the New Year's step-ups. Would have been maybe 2 New Years ago, or maybe even 3 now. I can't quite remember the exact year. But they basically, in the guaranteed LR step, on the final step, where you were able to get, I think it's where you're meant to be able to get Goku. I might be giving the information wrong here, so please correct me in the comments below. Where STR UI Goku was meant to be, they put LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Everyone ended up getting their stones refunded for what they spent, but I was quite deep in the community at the time, over on the Reddit specifically, and it was a joy to watch. I only spent 20 stones during that period because step ups don't really hold much value to me because I summon on most banners, if not all banners anyway. So yeah, step ups aren't for me. So I just did one multi kind of just to see, if they did give a blanket kind of reward of 300 stones or something like that. I just wanted to be involved. But I got my 20 stones back. A lot of people got 600 stones back. 3 lots of the 200 stone 200 stone step ups, I should say. So I thought that was a hell of a time. Like I said, I wasn't around for some of the earlier controversies, but I thought that was worth mentioning. Current banners, as mentioned, are the Golden Week, Piccolo Jr. and Goku, and my current stone count is actually 398. I actually filled this out yesterday, and thanks to today's login and missions, I'm up to 398. But that is my Dokkan favorites. I will post this template. I actually already have. Where are we? If I remove this, go here. I've actually posted it here in my Discord server. So head over there, download that, and as you can see, Flames has. I actually sent an old one there, but it doesn't really matter. His first banner was back then. That was Tanabata. First Dokkan, first Super Saiyan 4, first LR Super Saiyan. Oh yeah, cool. I like it. Best celebration. You like the world? That's a great pick, by the way. Great pick. I love that cooler worldwide celebration. I hope they theme it around characters more. A Broly worldwide celebration or a Vegeta worldwide celebration. Like I said, variety is key, and I think that holds a lot. Yeah, look, Piccolo getting a nod again. Underrated unit. I think that's fair. Oh, that's a great pick. Really good pick for these guys here. Hated unit that you love. I really like them as well. Loved unit that you hate. I like him. I really do. I think he's actually more hated than loved. Need more rose. I think that's fair. Most wanted. Oh, okay, cool. Easy A, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Fair enough. Very fair. Biggest disappointment. Interesting. That's very interesting that he's got them there. But yeah, I won't go into that too much. I kind of just featured someone else's list there, really temporarily. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you want, download the list and fill it out and chuck it over on my Discord so we can all discuss. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.